Do you need more cowbell? No, you don't. Stop making that joke. It's not funny. On today's Pop Culture Spectrum, musicians known for the wrong song. Welcome to the Pop Culture Spectrum. I am your host, Dan Experience, and thank you for joining. Just a quick reminder out there, everybody, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TDM Experience. And as always, you can go over to www.guiltlessnetwork.com and check out all of the great shows that we have on the network. Today's episode, we're just going to dive right into it. I am doing the top 10 list of musicians that are known for the wrong song. So these are bands or musicians that got big or are very well known for one particular song, even though they have another song that is far superior. So let's go ahead and dive right in. At number 10, the Wallflowers. The song that the Wallflowers are known for is One Headlight, which I'll play a clip of right now. Now, One Headlight's not a bad song, but the Wallflowers have a song called 6th Avenue Heartache, which is actually a far superior song. I'll play a clip of it right now. Like I said, One Headlight, not a bad song, but 6th Avenue Heartache is just a really, really fucking good song. And it actually had backup vocals from Adam Duritz from the band Counting Crows. Now, the Wallflowers, they were really big in the late 90s / early 2000s for a while. One Headlight was a really big song, but they haven't really been in the spotlight, even though they've been steadily making music over the years. And the frontman of the Wallflowers is Jakob Dylan, who is the son of super famous musician Bob Dylan. And a pretty controversial opinion, I would rather listen to anything Jakob Dylan does over anything Bob Dylan does every day of the week. I have no use for Bob Dylan outside of the fact that he wrote All Along the Watchtower for Jimi Hendrix to cover and make a far superior version of, and the fact that he was part of the Traveling Wilburys, who I liked despite Bob Dylan, not because of him. Traveling Wilburys had Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, Jeff Lynne from the Electric Light Orchestra, George Harrison from the Beatles, and Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan's the weak link in my opinion. I don't like him. Coming in at number 9, the band Survivor. Obviously, the song that everybody knows Survivor for is Eye of the Tiger. I'm sure you've all heard it, but I'll play it right now for those of you who might not have. Look, Eye of the Tiger, it's a fun song. Part of the Rocky 3 soundtrack, I think it was. It's a fun song, but it's really nothing special. The better song that Survivor wrote and was not known for is The Search Is Over. It's a miracle of fate. I was living for a dream. Love Now, obviously, this entire list is my opinions. I just think The Search Is Over is a really great, cheesy 80s ballad, and Eye of the Tiger might have just been overplayed. But the band Survivor was founded by Jim Peterick. I might be saying that wrong. Peterick? But anyway, he was previously the guitarist slash vocalist for the band The Ides of March, who sang the song Vehicle, which is actually better than any Survivor song. It's not part of this list, but I recommend anybody out there go listen to the song Vehicle by Ides of March. It's just awesome. I've been known to karaoke it a few times. Coming in at number 8, Corey Hart. The song everybody knows Corey Hart for is Sunglasses at Night. Again, cheesy 80s song. It's fun. There's not really anything wrong with it. We'll take a listen real quick. So yeah, it's fine. It's good for cheesy 80s nostalgia, but he had a far better song, and that song was Never Surrender. So even those of you that do know Never Surrender as well as Sunglasses at Night, Corey Hart is really just kind of remembered as a cheesy 80s, very, flash in the pan kind of guy, but he's actually had a really respectable music career this entire time. Nothing that I know or care about, but his Wikipedia entry has a bunch of shit listed. Couple of fun facts about Corey Hart, though. On his first album, the album that contained Sunglasses at Night, Eric Clapton actually played on that album on the song Jenny Faye. Legendary guitarist from Derek and the Dominos, Eric Clapton, was on Corey Hart's first album. Also, Corey Hart was considered for the role of Marty McFly in Back to the Future, eventually had to back out or they went a different direction, and they decided to cast Eric Stoltz, and then obviously Eric Stoltz was replaced by Michael J. Fox. Number 7, Gordon Lightfoot. Now, the song everybody knows Gordon Lightfoot from, if you know Gordon Lightfoot, is The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I will play a very short snippet of this song because it's 18 goddamn minutes long. Slight exaggeration, but it's super fucking long.
The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind.
So this is the first entry on the list, but it won't be the last, where the song that the person is known for, I think, is absolute shit. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is a terrible song. Just for 6.5 minutes straight, it sucks. But Gordon Lightfoot had a very long career, and his far superior song is If You Could Read My Mind.
Enter number 2, a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back.
That's just a good folk song. I like it so much better than the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And actually, there's a part in that song where he says, "I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack." The song was written about his marriage falling apart, and eventually Lightfoot would change that lyric from "I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack" to "the feelings that we lack," because his daughter requested it of him. And instead of saying, "No, honey, your mother's a cunt," he decided to give in to her wishes and change that lyric. Number 6, Thin Lizzy. Anybody that has known me for more than like 2 days is well aware of the fact that I love me some Thin Lizzy. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. And the song that they're known for is "The Boys Are Back in Town," which, not really that great of a song.
If that chick don't wanna know, forget her. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town.
Again, it's another one that it's not the worst song in the world, but a combination of it being overplayed to death and the fact that Thin Lizzy has a very deep catalog of amazing songs. I don't care for that song. As far as the song that's far superior, take your pick. Like I said, they've got a very extensive catalog, but I'm going to go with Bad Reputation just because it's a personal favorite of mine and it fucking rocks. Now, Thin Lizzy is up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, but they're not going to get in because everybody is dumb and they'll pick people that are less deserving. Number 5, the band Men at Work. Everybody remembers Men at Work from the Land Down Under.
He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. And he said, I come from a land down under. Lead us slow and mention the. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Yeah.
Look, Land Down Under is a fine song. I enjoy it. I listen to it pretty frequently. But Men at Work is one of those bands from the 80s, and there were a couple of them, that got really big off of one very 80s song, even though they had a deeper catalog of really good shit. And for Men at Work also was kind of known for Who Could It Be Now, which is a good song too, but my favorite Men at Work song is Overkill.
There's pretty lights, though there's little variation, it nullifies the night from overkill. Day after day reappear, night after night my heartbeat shows the fear. Ghosts appear and fade away. Come back another day.
That song was actually eventually re-released by Colin Hay, who was the lead singer of Men at Work. He re-released an acoustic version on one of his solo albums that's also really good. And Colin Hay has actually been steadily working since the 80s. And in the early 2000s, he experienced a bit of a career resurgence due to, of all people, Zach Braff. Zach Braff used Colin Hay's music in the film Garden State that he directed, as well as the show Scrubs that he starred in. And Colin Hay actually guest starred in an episode or two of Scrubs. Coming in at number 4, Ben Folds, or the Ben Folds 5. Something about the Ben Folds 5 that not a lot of people know. There's only 3 people in the band. That was a combination of them thinking it was funny and the fact that Ben Folds said that the Ben Folds 5 sounds better than the Ben Folds 3. But anyway, the song that everyone knows them for is the song Brick. Probably the most famous song about an abortion in the history of music.
Now that I've found someone, I'm feeling more alone than I ever have before. She's a brick and I'm drowning slowly off the coast and I'm headed nowhere. She's a brick and I'm drowning slowly.
Now, there's nothing against the song Brick. I love Brick. It's just that Ben Folds is another one. He got really big from one thing, but he has a million great songs out there. And it was actually really difficult for me to narrow down the one song that I wanted to pick as the far superior song. But I went with the song House just because it has personal resonance for me, and it's a really good song.
Does all these voices come and go? Could anyone live inside my head and never know? And I could go there, I'm not going. Pulse is slowing, no, I'm not nervous anymore. I've seen the nightmares and some counselors, and I'm not going back up in that house again.
Now, when it comes to Ben Folds, I used to not be a fan. I wasn't aware of 98% of his catalog. But it was actually Patrick from the Guiltless podcast that put me on to appreciating Ben Folds. I remember he was telling me one time how much he loved Ben Folds, and I was like, really, the rock in the suburbs guy? And he was like, I'm telling you, dude, he's good. And eventually, I saw Ben Folds as the host of some like a cappella contest. It was like American Idol for a cappella groups. And I was like, this guy seems pretty charming. I'll check out his music. And I immediately fell in love. Love me some Ben Folds. I suggest everybody go out there and listen to his entire discography, both his solo work and with the Ben Folds 5. And Ben Folds actually has collaborated multiple times with the author Nick Hornby, who wrote High Fidelity and About a Boy, both of which were made into movies. And they actually collaborated on an entire album called Lonely Avenue that was an amazing album. It's very rare that you have an album that is 100% success rate. Like every song is amazing. Unfortunately, this is not one of those albums, but every song but one of the songs on that album is amazing. Saskia Hamilton is a weak song, but every other song is great. And they had a song where they basically just turned Levi Johnson, who was, you guys remember Sarah Palin from back in the day? Her daughter's shitty boyfriend that knocked her up. He had like a bunch of Facebook posts or something, and they just used those as lyrics and turned it into a song that's pretty damn good. So yeah, I recommend everyone check out all of Ben Folds. Coming in at number 3, The Blue Oyster Cult. Now this is the only one on this list I'm doing a little bit differently. I have 2 songs that they're known for and 2 songs that are far superior. The first song that they're most known for, obviously, is Don't Fear the Reaper.
All of times have come. Here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby.
Don't Fear the Reaper is a shitty song. The song sucks, and it was responsible for a joke that got driven into the ground. Look, that SNL sketch with Christopher Walken and the More Cowbell, it was funny the first time I saw it, but it's 2019 and people are still making the More Cowbell joke. Stop it. It's like how The Office made everybody start saying that's what she said again. Stop it. Stop running these goddamn jokes into the ground. And Don't Fear the Reaper is an awful song. The other song that Blue Oyster Cult was known for is the song Godzilla. Also a shitty song. And I feel very passionately about Don't Fear the Reaper and Godzilla both being shitty songs. So you might think that I just really hate Blue Oyster Cult, but that's not the case because they actually have a lot of really good songs. The two that I'm picking for their far superior songs, first of all, was Burning for You, and this was actually a single that they were popular for. And then Don't Fear the Reaper came along in the SNL sketch and everything. But Burning for You is better than both of those songs. The other song that I'm picking for Blue Oyster Cult, this one's kind of a deep cut. It wasn't a single, but it's called Flaming Telepaths.
I'll settle for life. Is it any wonder that my mind's on fire? Imprisoned by the thought of what to do. Is it any wonder that my jokes tonight and the joke's on you?
That's just a fun song with kooky lyrics, and it rocks, and it's about flaming telepaths, weird science fiction-y shit. So yeah, hate what Blue Oyster Cult is known for, but Blue Oyster Cult does have some fun tunes. Number 2 on our top 10 list of musicians known for the wrong song, Faith No More. The song that they're known for, the song that they got really big in the early 90s, was Epic. Now, that's not a terrible song, but in my opinion, it's probably their worst song if we're not counting the 2 albums that Faith No More released when Chuck Mosley was their vocalist before Mike Patton took over on The Real Thing, on which Epic was the lead single. It's not a bad song. It's just Faith No More is one of the most talented bands in history. And this one, I had the most trouble narrowing down what song to pick as their far superior song. I had more trouble than I did with Ben Folds. This Faith No More has so many amazing songs, but I ultimately decided on the song Evidence.
I didn't feel a thing. You didn't mean a thing. With me, I testify. Didn't feel a thing.
Now, as you can hear, that stylistically is pretty different from Epic. But that's one of the things that makes Faith No More so great is they're able to go between a lot of different styles like that. And Mike, as I mentioned before, Mike Patton is their lead vocalist, and there might not be anybody in the music industry with as many side projects as Mike Patton. And most of them are worth checking out, and they span all kinds of different genres. He's part of the band Tomahawk, Phantomas, Mr. Bungle. He did an album with the Dillinger Escape Plan, Peeping Tom. all over the place. But my personal favorite side project of Mike Patton is the album Lovage, Music to Make Love to Your Old Lady by. Now, Lovage was a project with production by Dan the Automator, who is a big producer in the hip-hop world. It also had DJing done by Kid Koala, and vocals by Mike Patton and Jennifer Charles, who led a band called Elysian Fields. And the album, like I said, was called Music to Make Love to Your Old Lady by, and they weren't kidding. That album is horny as fuck. Go check it out. All right, the moment that we have all been waiting for. Number 1 on our list of musicians known for the wrong song. Drum roll, please. I'm not actually going to edit in a drum roll. The band Devo. The song everybody knows Devo for is Whip It.
When a problem comes along, you must whip it before the cream sets out too long. You must whip it when something's going wrong. You must whip it. Now whip it into shape. Shape it up. Get straight. Go forward. Move ahead. Try to detect it. It's not too late to whip it. Whip it good. When a good time turns around.
Look, Whip It's fine. It's fun, cheesy 80s horse shit. But that's all really anyone knows Devo for. And Devo were really fucking talented musicians. I decided to pick the song Gut Feeling as their far superior song.
There's a method to your movements. It really gets my goat. I look for similarities, but you're right to the core. I have just a part of I can take it on. Can't take it no more. I've got a gut feeling. I've got a gut feeling. I've got a gut feeling.
Now, Devo's actually from Akron, which is where I live and record this podcast from. And Mark Mothersbaugh, who was the front man, has actually had a very, very long-running career doing music for movies and TV. He did music for a number of Wes Anderson movies. In fact, Gut Feeling, the song that I played, was featured in The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. But Mark Mothersbaugh was also responsible for the music for the children's cartoon Rugrats. And in fact, the character design for Chucky Finster on Rugrats was based on Mark Mothersbaugh. There's a little fun fact for you. So that wraps up my list of the top 10 musicians known for the wrong song. If any of you disagree with me, or if you have suggestions of things that I missed or should have included on the list, feel free to holler at me on Twitter at TDM Experience. Or Instagram at TDM Experience, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, drop a comment below and let me know how you disagree. And yeah, that's all I've got for you today. So we'll see you next time on the Pop Culture Spectrum.